everyone, and welcome to Sugoi Cast. My name's Brian.
I'm Mysti.
And today we're going to do a review of Gakkou Gurashi, or also known as School Life.
Alright, so, this anime is based off a manga. It began airing in summer last year, 2015, by Studio Lark, not sure, but them. And it ran for 12 episodes.
Now, we would like to give a warning for everyone who's about to watch this review, because unfortunately we cannot talk about the plot of this anime without spoiling the first episode.
Yes, there's a big reveal at the end of the first episode that changes the whole mood of things.
Yep.
So, I guess we can get into that then.
So, at the start of the episode, it kind of seems like quite an enjoyable, fun, loving, moe-style anime. And you kind of get introduced to the four main characters, who are Yuki, Kurume, Yuri, and Miki. Unfortunately, at the end of the episode, it all changes completely.
Yeah, it's sort of revealed that Yuki doesn't see the world in the same eyes as everyone else does. They're in the middle of a bit of a zombie apocalypse, so to speak, and living in their school that's completely torn to pieces after that.
Kind of, especially considering you don't know what you're going into for this anime, it completely changes, because you're kind of sitting there thinking, this looks like a really cute anime, and all of a sudden, it's gone. It
does certainly retain a lot of those moe, like, cute girls doing cute things moments between them when they're just hanging out, but there's lots of elements of, Yuki's kind of in some sort of denial or delusional state with what's really going on.
It's pretty awesome as well when you're watching this anime to see the kind of change that Yuki goes through, because she kind of starts off as quite an oblivious person, and then all of a sudden the delusions completely break and she sees reality.
Yeah. So yeah, the main perspective of this anime comes from Yuki, not exclusively her, but she's the main character that we follow, and yeah, as we said, she sees things very differently
compared to everyone else in, I guess you could say, a party, so...
Yeah. They sort of, they don't have... It's not that they don't have the heart to tell her. They don't want to break her state of mind.
Because, especially considering for the majority of the anime, including, except for the parts where it breaks, she's kind of in a happy place, and unfortunately it is completely not a happy place at all.
Yeah, not at all.
It's a complete mess.
As he said, yeah, the other main characters, you've got Miki, who I believe comes from the same school as them, because they have the same uniform, at least the same one as Kurumi and Yuri, but they hadn't previously known her. You've got Kurumi, who
Miss Shovel
Girl, yes. she's a bit more of the I don't want to say energetic. Yuki's very energetic, but she's a little bit more of the sort of sporty type, I suppose. She was in.
I'm sorry,
track.
But I don't want to spoil it. Again, we don't want to spoil much, but the fact of the matter is she carries around a shovel with her all the time, so I just can't help but call her Miss Shovel.
Yeah. And then you've got Yuri, who is sort of more of the, I guess, motherly type of the group. She's sort of, plays, the straight man or straight woman, I guess, to some of their antics, and...
She's kind of the one that's there, who manages the food and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. And then they have a dog with them named Taromaru.
So cute.
Yeah, he's cute. He gets quite into a lot of trouble. There's a lot of scenes of him, running around the school, them trying to catch him, and that is also part of the reveal in the first episode too.
I believe it as well, because I have unfortunately not read the manga this is based on, but Mysti told me as well at another time that the dog actually doesn't really have a big part in the manga, which I didn't realize.
Yeah, Taromaru's around for a chapter, maybe a second one. There's quite a few changes from the manga to the anime. It covers the same sort of thing. I haven't finished what's out yet. It's not done. I haven't caught up to it quite yet, but even then, Taromaru is come and gone. He was there for a very brief moment. So his involvement in the anime is quite different than that of the manga. And
then also we have Megumi, who's the teacher and the advisor.
Oh, yes, Megane. I completely forgot about her. Yes, she. I guess that kind of goes with the theme of the show, though. Everyone forgets about her.
Yep.
She also does continue to teach Yuki as well during the show.
Again, a thing that must kind of be touched upon in this anime, which I think is very important, is the delusions that goes through Yuki's mind, because you kind of see what could happen if you're in a situation and you kind of put yourself in a delusion, because she deludes throughout the majority of this anime, and you don't realize, and while everyone else realizes that around her, she doesn't at all. She's completely oblivious.
Mm-hmm. And every character seems to get a decent amount of development and, time in the spotlight. The only one that I was a little disappointed by not seeing as much of would be Yuri. I think that while you get some, she kind of stays in the background most of the time.
Which is unfortunate, but it's mostly because she is kind of like the mother type.
Yes. Everyone else kind of gets their arcs and their moments of development and learning more about their character and their feelings about, their situation. But Yuri doesn't really get much of that, which is a bit of a shame, because she was one of my favorites too. Probably my favorite, yeah. As for animation, I think that overall there wasn't a lot that wowed me about the animation, except for some of the transitions between reality and Yuki's mind, and especially their expressions during those points as well. The eyes in this anime are absolutely amazing.
Yeah, for sure. I kind of think when it comes to the animation, I kind of think it does suit what it's going for. I have no complaints at all. I think it's very good on the eyes, especially the eyes itself.
Yes.
But I think overall, it kind of suits.
Yeah. As I said, with the transitions and such, they do a very good job with the camera work the quote camera work. It's not really a camera, I suppose, but with the framing of that, when you see the difference between the two worlds and everything else too, just it does what it needs to do. When it comes to the sound direction and music in general, I mean, nothing too much to write home about. Again, it does its job. I don't really have many key tracks in the soundtrack, at least, that stick out to me too much.
Again, on the sound and music, I personally just kind of think it's just there. I don't really remember much of it. I just kind of, when you hear it, it's like, okay, whatever. It's not really a big deal. However, that's not the same for the opening.
Yeah.
Which is completely different.
Easily, when you take the song itself is fine. I like it. I know a lot of people might not like it, but I like the song. But when you take the song and the visuals together, easily one of my favorite openings.
It is so much fun.
Yeah. Every single episode it changes not every episode, but throughout the series it changes bit by bit as it progressively gets darker and darker. You see, it starts to look more like the reality that they're actually in.
The opening is that good. I never skipped it. There's not many openings I can say about that, but every time I watch the show, instantly watched it. I have no problem.
I have never paid as much attention to an
opening ever. No,
as this one ever. I was looking at just fine details, just trying to find every little change that they might have made.
As Mysti commented on, the changes are just so interesting to see, because it kind of makes you pay attention, because you're like, oh, that's changed. I didn't realise that. So then, if you didn't pay attention for a few episodes, you'll notice there's been quite a few different changes.
Mm-hmm. Some of the endings changed as well, too. Very, very minor things, especially because they had a couple different endings that they went through. But some of the endings changed as well, depending on certain, plot points and reveals and stuff like that. However, just in general, I don't feel like the anime was absolutely perfect. It certainly had its faults.
There is no, as far as I'm aware, apart from maybe one or two, you're never really going to find a perfect anime.
Yes.
A big problem as well, is that you'll also notice, if you've ever watched any type of zombie anime, they're generally lacking or given a bit of a bad impression because of certain gimmicks and boob fix.
Yes.
They kind of give zombie animes quite a bit of a disrespect and unfortunate reputation. But I think this personally will restore your belief in it.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of zombie stuff in general. I haven't seen every quote zombie anime or everything that would be like that. But most of the ones I've seen, either the zombie factor is more of a gimmick, it's just one specific character, or It's like you said,
Mm-hmm.
High School of the Dead, Boob Physics, the anime. It's just there's good stuff there, but then there's other things to kind of ruin it. And I feel like, well, this one could have delved a little bit deeper into the zombie factor. Like, it doesn't go. There's a little bit less of that than I would like. What was there was very good and gets you very hooked into that and the situation that they're in.
Mm-hmm. Overall, I personally think that this anime is definitely worth checking out. I think it kind of is a really good touch, especially with the delusions. You'd be really interested to see how everything keeps changing constantly, especially from Yuki's perspective. And I also think the opening is something you must check out regardless.
Yes. It's one of the few anime I would say is like made so much better by its opening and maybe almost worth watching just for that.
Mm-hmm.
But you certainly aren't going to get much from this if you are not a fan of the sort of, moe, cute girls type slice of life thing. Because despite the fact that, like, there is a lot of a bit of a darker twist to this, it still focuses a lot on that aspect of things. There are even full episodes where they just don't even deal with zombies or anything like that at all.
If you're not into cutesy stuff and stuff like all that moe stuff, then I would maybe be careful about watching this, because it is, even though it is supposed to be about zombies, the moe stuff is still very present.
To the point where, like, I would even say certain people that liked maybe things like K-On! And stuff might even like this. Not quite, because there are still a lot of differences.
Mm-hmm.
But there's a lot of, like, cute, warm moments, yeah.
Fuzzy moments, yeah.
Overall, I would recommend this to people that at least can tolerate that sort of cute moe sort of thing and want something with a bit of a darker twist to it. You like zombies, you like post-apocalyptic type anime, you like happy, fun-loving anime where not everything quite turns out the way they would want it to.
Mm-hmm. I second that opinion personally. I 100% recommend checking it out. Only if you are able to tolerate moe. If you cannot tolerate moe, I would probably put a disclaimer saying no, probably maybe stay away from it.
Yeah. It's certainly not going to be for everyone. It takes a particular, taste or toleration of those kind of things to really enjoy this. But if you do, it's a great experience. Even if not one of your favorites, it's definitely one of the more unique anime to watch that I've seen.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so I guess that's it for us then.
I've been Ryan.
Yep. I'm Mysti.
See you next time.